This project was done for Education 605, Professor Wright's class. My name is Nancy Zapian, and I am going to talk about my educational philosophy. Here are some things about me. I am a chemical lab technician and a certified substitute teacher. I have been working in academic settings since 2005, doing various forms of work. Prior to entering school, I was an analytical chemist in an industry field. I found this job non-rewarding and very routine. I chose to be part of academia because I love to teach and I enjoy seeing young minds discover new horizons in this world. I say more than one philosophy because not just one fit me. Conducting many surveys and online questionnaires, I found that my teaching philosophy changes as I see fit. The most common philosophies that stood out in my search for enlightenment are progressivism and existentialism. These two teaching methodologies are present in me because I teach both. It depends on who I teach and the area of the subject I am covering. Yet, I identify mainly with the progressivism philosophy. So who am I? I am a chemist. And unlike Albert Einstein, I do not believe essentialism is the key to understanding science. I promote group learning, discovery, and activity-centered lectures. I'm a huge advocate for laboratory learning. I say it's better to have students experience a hands-on approach to science than to just let them take in a textbook. For instance, I know I must cover reactions in chemistry. Reactions are difficult, and most educators just read a text and expect students to memorize the types of reactions. Memorization is not the key to knowing and understanding. If I want to teach reactions, I want my students to know and have hands-on experience. I could ask them questions to make them think. For example, a combustion reaction. It's what happens inside the cylinder of our car. It is a real-life problem, and I could ask my students, what makes this combustion reaction so special? Why does it happen in a car? It is non-reversible. If it was reversible, would we be able to regenerate this gas and not have to go to a gas station again? Their minds are wondering. Their minds are thinking. They're learning more about reactions and solving solutions for real-world problems. My students need to understand. In order for them to grasp the topic, I must provide them with a variety of project-based options. Experiments all have science-based problems that need solving and understanding. These projects do more than engage. They create problem solvers, explorers, and critical thinkers. Plus, students learn key concepts of how to apply their knowledge to other problems. I think giving students certain options enhances their will to understand and motivates them to learn key fundamentals all on their own. So, who is a philosopher of progressivism? Many of us have heard of Maria Montessori, for the Montessori schools. Maria Montessori states, and I quote, "We cannot know the consequences of suppressing a child's spontaneity when he is just beginning to be active. We may even suffocate life itself. That humanity which is revealed in all its intellectual splendor during this sweet, tender age of childhood should be respected with a kind of rigorous veneration. It is like the sun which appears at dawn, or a flower just beginning to bloom. Education cannot be effective unless it helps a child to open up himself to life." Maria Montessori was an Italian physician and educator of the late 1900s. Today, there are over 22,000 Montessori schools in the nation. Progressivism. Almost everything centers on human experience. It seeks to promote democracy by developing strong individuals to serve in a good society. It supports diversity because education is the necessity of life. Its aims are to seek understanding, coordinate all environments into a whole, teach a process of inquiry, and promote personal growth and democracy. The instructional process is flexible with the concern for individual differences and for problem solving and discovery. In this learner-centered approach, the role of the teacher is to identify the needs of the learner and to serve as a resource person. I believe a classroom should be student-focused. Many times we say, students are our future, and we must educate them to succeed where we have failed. I do not believe this. We must teach students to be themselves, not mirror images of us. Students are dynamic learners and filled with curiosity. Curiosity is what allows humans to explore and be active in any topic. I believe individual curiosity sets the starting point of education. It's also more than just academics when we go to school. Learning is an active, democratic, and social process. Experiments and problem solving construct student knowledge. The teacher is a facilitator and a guide. I believe school is a reflection of the wider world, and we must guide our students to become good citizens by facilitating their learning process. New situations give us new problems. Progressivism calls for students to be part of the planning of ideas by being actively involved, as opposed to just sitting and taking mindless notes. I believe students must develop to be problem solvers. Nature is always changing, society is always changing. Therefore, our teaching methodologies should change to concur to the students of today. This is not to say the students of the traditional method should be forgotten. I must engross all types of student learning, teaching in a flexible model that engages all students so no one is left behind. In my future class, I wanted to be laboratory-based or project-based. Allowing students to choose a subtopic of interest will spark their curiosity and engage them to learn and understand. In my future chemistry class, I plan on allowing my students to pick and perform a project on a current topic in chemistry, like visiting a river and testing water samples for contamination. This can be done with a water that's not just from a river. It can be done with any kind of sink water from our kitchen, from our bathroom, from the hose, finding out the different types of contamination that exist there. A great example of progressivism in the classroom was when students were allowed to research the types of light bulbs being used at school. Students learned how much electricity could be saved by switching bulbs to more energy-friendly ones. They then took initiative and changed the bulbs, managing to conserve electricity in their schools. This is what students need. They need active learning that's going to help them be beneficial in their academics and in the real world. Someone brought up to me the rewards and consequences in my class based on my teaching methodology. I believe rewards should not be given for academic learning. It impedes student understanding. Instead, rewards should be used to enforce classroom rules of kindness, respect, and honesty. This will help develop student self-understanding and prepare them to be good citizens in society. Consequences. Although I do not think they are as effective, at times they are necessary, but they should be used rarely, like when a student impedes the learning of another. Talking to the student about the negative actions that were conducted in school is very important and should be done in private. This is beneficial to the student because it shows we care about them and we want them to be better in and out of school. There are pros and cons to progressivism. Some of the pros. Progressivism provides close-knit community of students and families. It is investigative and experimental approach to learning. Therefore, it is student-centered. Most subjects are integrated with immediate application of lessons learned and encourages critical thinking. Fewer, more essential lessons gives more depth than breadth. Therefore, a student is able to master a subject. Students bring less homework a few times a week gives more family time and after-school extracurricular activities for them to be a part of. It uses both summative and formal assessment. It emphasizes on the development of concepts and application of skills. The big idea. It is also good for children with shorter attention spans. The cons. This is sad to say, but untrained educators can actually hinder student success. Students require a lot of supervision and guidance. Children are less likely to sit and listen to a lecturer. It covers less facts. Many think of progressivism schools as permissive and avoid enrolling their children in the schools. Untrained educators do not provide proper structures and can cause chaotic environments for students. It is also very energy draining for the educator and the student alike. So what have I learned? This presentation has allowed me to identify with philosophers that believe and teach like I do. I feel confident that I am on the right track to do what I believe is best for my students. Identifying with my philosophy has deepened my own understanding of myself as an educator. I feel motivated to continue my approach to science with experimentation of inquiry, designing of experiments, and deep understanding of the most interesting and beneficial topics. My students will engage themselves to learn. They will become better in academics and society because they will master fundamental knowledge. The best chemist is the one who engages and explores. They seek to understand, not just to follow directions. The best chemist is a messy chemist. So this is what I tell my students. Go ahead and learn from your mistakes. The second time around, you will know and understand why it went wrong the first time. Here are some references for further reading. I hope you've enjoyed my presentation as I enjoyed making it. Thank you.